What's up YouTube, it's Josh Creates here with another video. In today's video, we got part 13 to TikTok vents about inflation. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
What price increase has truly made you realise we're in a cost of living crisis?
Oh, I've got a great one from New Zealand. Oh, you want half a watermelon? Yep, that'll be $47.94. And as you can see, the date was January 2023. And it hasn't changed.
I don't know if I don't know how the price is in New Zealand, but $47 for half a watermelon. Somebody comment down below like what's like the price difference. If it's like the same as in like America, or if it's like if that's expensive or not. Basically, somebody let me know in the comment section down below whether or not that's like expensive for like New Zealand or like expensive for like the US. $47, I don't get it. Someone help me, please.
Do you know why people steal groceries in this economy? It's because this costs $23. This salad is $10. These 4 mozzarella balls are $5.16, and this little balanced snack, almost $9. 23 bucks for that. Also, tell me why every one of these items individually is more expensive than ice cream. $4.99 for ice cream, which is unhealthy and you shouldn't be promoting people to buy. But it's more expensive than all of these items individually. $2.49. Does anybody remember when craft dinner boxes were 50 cents a box? $2.50 a box now? It's fucking absurd. That used to be like the ultimate poor man's meal. And now I can't afford it.
We already reacted to her.
Living in the US means you could literally go from being ready to buy a house to not even being able to afford to live in a short span of time. We've been trying to get out of our house for a while. Our house is causing a lot of issues for our family. I kid you not, every single time that we finally get ahead and we think it's finally gonna happen, we are finally going to get out of this place, something comes and pushes us back down. In just this first half of the year, we've had so many car issues that it completely wiped out our savings. All the health expenses that I've had to make for my autoimmune disease have had to been all out of pocket, because according to my insurance, I'm not bad enough to be covered. And then we found out that my son has to get braces, and it's one of those emergency situations where if he doesn't get braces, he will need jaw surgery in the future if it's not corrected. And guess what? Our insurance doesn't cover braces. And then just 2 days ago, on my daughter's birthday, our van broke down. We literally went from being pre-approved and ready to buy a house to not knowing how we are gonna make it in a matter of months. And that's what it's like to live in the United States.
So
I could agree with her so much. Oh my god, the amount of times where I tell myself like, okay, everything is looking good, you know, I could do this, I could, you know, start a vacation, save up for a vacation, I could buy this. Something always has to come up and mess something up, like mess up what you're excited for. I don't know, and it's like now you have to think like, okay, the next time I feel like, oh, I could save up for something or do something for myself, you have to like have that fear in the back of your head. Well, it's now in the front of your head that what if something goes wrong? Maybe I should save this money. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should wait it out just to see if everything is okay or if something will happen. That's how everyone thinks now, and it's crazy. But I can't blame her. That's exactly how I feel, how I've been feeling.
This, and this, that was $56 alone. But this little bit of food, plus water and ramen, $236 in Sam's Club. But why?
So I just got back from the grocery store. That's what I got. I got 20 ramen noodles, okay, 2 pounds of beef, tortillas, seasoning, lettuce, tomato. That's $35 worth of groceries. I'm flabbergasted. This is fucking ridiculous, you guys. When are we gonna do something about this?
We need to see unemployment rise. Unemployment has to jump 40-50% in my view. We need to see pain in the economy. We need to remind people that they work for the employer.
Yikes. One of Australia's richest men has admitted his comments about workers being arrogant were deeply insensitive. You might remember him from his 2017 comments when he was asked if he thinks young people today are faced with never owning a home.
Absolutely, when you're spending $40 a day on smashed avocado and coffees.
Tim Gurner is now a multi-millionaire property developer, founder, CEO, but he has talked about his early days in the past. He said his boss purchased his first property for him when he was around 18 years old to renovate it, which they later sold and split, and his grandfather lent him money for a bank loan to start his own gym in uni. He never backed down from the Avo thing, but he says he deeply regrets his comments this time around, which focused a lot on job cuts.
The governments around the world are trying to increase unemployment. People are definitely laying people off, and we're starting to see less arrogance in the employment market, and that has to continue.
After widespread criticism, here's what Mr. Gurner has had to say since. My comments were deeply insensitive to employees, tradies and families across Australia who are affected by these cost of living pressures and job losses. My words did not convey empathy for those in that situation.
Wow, another Australian video.
You may have seen this headline floating around. 90 million American adults are struggling to make ends meet financially. The article says about 38.5% of American adults, or 89.1 million individuals, faced difficulty in paying for usual home expenses between April 26th and May 8th. Usual home expenses being things like food, not Ferraris. I know in my life, everyday things have definitely gotten more expensive. I used to be able to feed myself and my partner on $50 a week, and we can no longer do that. Gas is more expensive, rent is more expensive, everything is more expensive than it was 2-3 years ago. There's definitely a problem, and a lot of people are acknowledging like a problem exists, but instead of saying, hey, why don't we pay people more money? Why don't we raise the minimum wage? Why don't we do things like institute subsidized childcare? A lot of people are like, hey, why don't you just eat less? And then these same people will turn around and be like, why aren't people having kids? Why aren't people staying loyal to jobs? I don't know, we can't afford to eat, bro.
In that little bit of time of 45%.
The government is so delulu. How can you be charging $1,500
Is it me or is it lagging a little bit?
a month for a one-bedroom? And
Lagging.
having medical care and like education costs like through the roof? You're so delulu, baby. We're not having children until you lower that shit.
Declining. But here's why your groceries are still so expensive. And I'm like, yeah, they are telling us.
Alright, this is the dumbest fucking TikTok I've ever seen. If you have an apple, and that apple costs $1, and then inflation says it goes up 50%, that apple then costs $1.50. If inflation goes down to 3%, then it's only going up 3%. Inflation going down doesn't mean the price will go back down to $1. It only means that it'll go up less. It's gonna be $1.53 or some shit. You're not gonna have lower prices. It can only go up. Things are only gonna get more expensive.
Can you please lower the prices of food or make it easier to access?
Absolutely not. What's really crazy about this is that I was talking to somebody who works at Walmart a few days ago. My friend told me that they have seen way more people stealing in the past month than they've seen in the whole 3 years that they've worked at Walmart. And I said, what do you guys do when they steal? And they said, we turn our backs because legally they can't do anything, but also because she doesn't fucking care. She sees how much fucking food is. She's not judging them, so she just doesn't say anything. And honestly, I don't judge them either. Like, I'm not even surprised that people are stealing food at this point. People are literally starving out there. The only way we're making it is by couponing. So I'm not surprised that people are stealing food. And honestly, it's only going to get worse. If something isn't done about these corporations and their price gouging and calling it inflation, things are just literally gonna continue to get worse. And people will continue to steal.
Wow, that's another thing. Like, what do you guys think about people stealing? Like people stealing from like Walmart, Target. I'm not talking about the materialistic, expensive stores. I'm talking about like food stores and stuff like that. Do you think they have the right to do that? Like, hey, like push come to shove, go ahead and do it, or do you think like it's a bad thing for like everyone else? Honestly, to answer my own question, I think this is just like it's not a beginning because it happened before, like right after the lockdown, I'll say. People started to like loot the stores, I'll say. But right now it's like push come to shove. It's like now or never, push come to shove. It's like, hey, might as well do it. Like, this is crazy. So it's like you can't just say anything. Like she said, her friend that works at Walmart doesn't, like, when she sees people that steal, they turn their backs. They can't do nothing. And her friend says, hey, I don't blame them. The food price is crazy. Prices of food is crazy. So it's like, it's like, hey, it is what it is. But let me just say this: monkey see, monkey do. If one person start doing it, everyone will.
This is getting out of hand. It's to a point where people can't live. And I just want to show you something. This right here, I just went grocery shopping for very basic things. Very basic. This amounted to $100. Like, this isn't even... You're telling me this is $100? This isn't even barely anything to feed me for a couple days. Literally just some chicken, eggs, rice, these things, I forget what they're called, and some juices, body wash, deodorant, some thank you cards, and seaweed. $100 for this? Excuse me?
Honestly, dog, I could kind of relate because I did get something like that at the store the other day, like that amount, and it came up to like $71. That's crazy, but hey, I don't believe it until I see the receipt.
Look at this. This motherfuckers are crazy. They want $80 fucking dollars for some fucking eggs. Smart and fun, people. Crazy.
Wow.
$1 million 1993 today is now $2,070,000. Inflation in 5 years will probably devalue half of everyone's money listening to this in their 401ks, IRAs, and their soft saving accounts. Like right now, the world is a wreck, and their only solution to the devaluation is they're gonna have to work harder. Over the last 20 years, 2002 to 2022, salaries have increased 27%, but the cost of a home has gone up 148%. In other words, like our cost of living and lifestyles is not keeping up. Average person drives a $60,000 a year car that has a $50,000 a year salary with over $100,000 of student debt, 60% of America living check to check. We have a problem. And being busy is not the solution, and getting another job is not the solution. You have to graduate and develop more of the Gen Z millennial mind that says there's got to be a smarter way. It can't be the immigrant way of just work harder, because there is something to say for hard work. But if it's not smart enough hard work, then it's stupid work. It's dumb work. And there's a lot of financial idiots out there that have just not gotten themselves educated.
Wow. I've seen him so many times, like on YouTube, like me reacting to these videos. And maybe, hey, it's so true that it's just circling. Maybe I need to pay attention to him and what he says. But dog, everything he said is facts, dog. Like he said, the cost of living it's like the wage is not keeping up with the cost of living. And everyone's for themselves. Every man for themselves these days. And it's just crazy. I need to find out who he is.
What I'm about to show you is not because I want to hurt people. It's not because I want to make you depressed. It's not because I want to make people sad or down on themselves. I'm only doing this because we need to bring awareness to this situation, because right now Americans are being gaslit into thinking we're just getting lazier and we're too entitled and we're expecting too much. The Great Depression is widely considered, at least where I went to school, as the worst economic time in American history. I want to show you the numbers on what the average income was during the Great Depression to now. Just for reference, the Great Depression is considered to be in this time period, 1929 to 1941. I looked at every single year and looked at what the worst year was. The worst year was 1930 economically for American households. So 1930, the average net yearly income of Americans, this is for one American, not a family, this is for one person, annually was $4,887. Well, let's look at how much money that is in today's money. I'm just gonna let this sit for a second. 1930, $4,881. I know I forgot it was a 7, whatever. 2023. This is for one person, not a family, one person. $88,000 a year in today's money. That was their depression. If that's a depression, look at what we're doing. In 2019, and this was the average income for one American in the United States. Just in case you wanted to see the exact number, I went ahead and converted that over. I even rounded up to 32,000 and put it in for 2023 from 2019, and it's 38,000 a year for one American. We are in a Great Depression. I mean, I said in another video, we're in the worst economic time in American history. We have the lowest purchasing power we have ever had in American history. And they want to make it seem like I'm lying. This is the numbers. One more thing, because I don't want to end on a negative note. I want everyone to remember something. If you're working full time and you found a way to pay your bills, you're never hungry, you got clothes on your back, a car that you can drive, you deserve massive applause for that. And I don't care what anyone says. Listen to this guy, what a baby. Look at him getting in his feelings. I don't care. All of us collectively that have made things happen under these conditions to take care of ourselves. Some of us have kids, take care of our families, wives, brothers, sisters, anybody. Even just taking care of yourself. If you've managed to make that happen, you honestly, cheers to that.
Wow. Well, I'm going to end it right there. Honestly, dog, I really understood what he said. I felt him. He did say we are in a Great Depression, and in my head, I was like, it's called a silent depression. Yes, they're not telling us. They just, hey, raise this up, raise that up, raise that up. Let's see what they could do. Quietly. They did that so quietly, and now this is why these TikTok videos exist. Because it's like, hey, is anybody else going through this? So they make a video on it. And you know, man, I can understand what he said. And shout out to him for doing the math. You know, shout out to him for doing the math. This was a good one, a good reaction video. I'm not gonna lie. But hey, I'm gonna just end it right here. My name is Josh Creates. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Needless to say, everything will be okay. I will be back.